The 2017 NFL Draft had some of the best players in the entire NFL, like Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Cooper Kupp, Christian McCaffrey, and some guy named Patrick Mahomes. I don't know, you might have heard of him before. This draft class was loaded. Each of those players are arguably the best at their position in the NFL. So today we're gonna go back in time and make sure that these teams make, at least in my opinion, the right decision in a very, very strong draft class. But super quick, before we get into that, if you want to be like a super OG of this channel, be sure to subscribe. Welcome if you're here from the main channel, and welcome if you somehow found this just randomly. If you want to be one of the first 150 subscribers, be sure to subscribe because all I post are absolute bangers. This is going to be my just NFL related content, while my main channel, link in the description, is going to be my Madden related content. And be sure to drop a like. We did very well with the last like goal. Let's shoot for 50 likes again. It helps me know that y'all are enjoying these videos and it helps push it to YouTube more so we can keep growing. And let me know what team, nope, wrong type of video, what draft redo you want me to do next. I don't know what to call it. Redraft you want me to do next, because I definitely love doing these redrafts. But I'll shut up now so we can get into just more of me talking, and let's get into this redraft. So how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna look at their depth chart. I might show it for every team, I might not, and I'll go off of what their team currently looks like and the players they would be losing, just the players that were in this draft class. Now the Browns on the clock at number 1 overall, they actually lose a lot of players from this class. Just going off the dome, Myles Garrett, Deshaun Watson, which are two pretty major players. There are quite a few more, I just can't remember right now. But we're gonna give them some guy named Patrick Mahomes. Never heard of him, must not be very good. But no, seriously, if the Browns had current day Patrick Mahomes, they could be terrifying. I mean, maybe not if they lose Myles Garrett, but still that offense could be pretty good. However, it's probably good that they didn't take Patrick Mahomes, because I think if you take him out of Kansas City with Andy Reid getting to sit a year behind Alex Smith, with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill to throw to, and Kareem Hunt as his running back when he was still developing, I don't think Mahomes would have been the same on the Browns with Hugh Jackson as the head coach at the time. I think he still was there. Yeah, I don't think Patrick Mahomes would have ended up the same, but assuming it is current day Patrick Mahomes, that's the most obvious pick of all time, especially if you're losing Deshaun Watson. If you still have him, you probably still even make that pick. Now the 49ers at number 2, they actually get off really easy from this draft, from this redraft. They don't have anybody here except for Christian McCaffrey. There might be someone else, but nobody major, I don't think. And considering his health history and that he is a running back, I don't know that McCaffrey is worth taking at number 2 overall. Oh, they lose George Kittle, but almost the same deal. Tight end isn't the most valuable thing ever. It's valuable, but also he's been very injury prone, or fairly injury prone. We still might take him just because he is already on the 49ers. Yeah, I don't feel great about this pick, but we'll do it because he is obviously a very good player, is in contention for being the best tight end in the NFL when healthy, is probably number 3, but we'll keep him here. Could also do something crazy and pair Myles Garrett or TJ Watt with Nick Bosa, which could be another option there. Now the Bears at number 3. I think this was the Mitch Trubisky pick, which wasn't great, believe it or not, even though he was the MVP. I think they lose DeMarcus Walker and Eddie Jackson. We're not taking a safety top 3, I'm sorry. Let's give them, in my opinion, the best pass rusher in the NFL. This is gonna make people mad that I'm taking him over TJ Watt, but in my opinion, the best in the NFL in Myles Garrett. Their pass rush is disgusting in a bad way. So we're gonna add Myles Garrett to the Chicago Bears. And this at the time was a year before they had a really terrifying defense. If they could find a decent QB somehow, God, I guess nobody in this class is that good. I mean, there are some good depth QBs here, backups, but that's about it. But if they could somehow find a good QB with the kind of defense they had at the time, that they could have won a Super Bowl. But I think this was the double doink year, or the year after was, so maybe that wouldn't have happened in this world. It definitely wouldn't have. Now the Jags at number 4, I actually have zero oh yeah, they took Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette was really good for a couple years and then just kinda disappeared. The Patriots are apparently interested in him, which could be a decent fit, but I don't know. He's just meh. Was Zay Jones in this class? He was. Okay, so they're losing Zay Jones, which, I mean, you have Jamal Agnew. He's fine. I like Seth Williams a lot, but he's never getting... Oh, they have Parker Washington, too. Okay, they're probably fine if they lose Zay Jones. That's not too big of a worry. They do lose Evan Ingram, too, so your weapons are getting depleted big time. Maybe a little funky, because they do already have Christian Kirk, but do we give them Cooper Kupp, or is there a better option? Could go Jonathan Allen, could go TJ Watt, but edge isn't that big of a problem for them. Yeah, let's give them Cooper Kupp. Again, little weird because both him and Christian Kirk are slot receivers, but both of them can play outside for sure. Are they as good? No, but they're both still good. So that's going to be a big weapon for Trevor Lawrence to throw to, and now that would be maybe the best receiving trio in the NFL with Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, and Cooper Kupp. That would be filthy. The Titans at number 5 pick Corey Davis, which at the time was a weird pick. Right now is kind of a weird pick. I mean, he was a monster at Western Michigan, but small school, top 5 is questionable. God, their offensive line is the worst. Holy shit. Okay, unless I'm blind, I also don't think they lose any starters from I mean, maybe like someone. I think Daniel Brunskill, but I mean, he's a decent player, but you're not too worried about that. So let's just maybe go best player available. Let's add Christian McCaffrey. No. He is probably best player available. That isn't named TJ Watt. The duo of him and Harold Landry when healthy would be terrifying. So we're going to do that. Harold Landry is a really underrated player, just obviously hurt all year last year, but he is pretty good. And paired with TJ Watt, that would be scary. I wouldn't want to go against that. I guess it would be something similar to, you know, the current duo of Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt. Is that the biggest need for them? Definitely not. Arden Key is a solid player for sure, but I don't think you would be complaining about adding TJ Watt. Could also have gone maybe Garrett Bolles, but top 5 is Ryan Ramczyk maybe, but that would be a fun pick. Now the Jets at number 6, and also I just want to say this, I could go a number of directions. If you don't agree, I mean, that's fair. I'm not absolutely sold on all these picks. I'm just doing them off the dome, you know what I'm saying? The Jets would lose Carl Lawson, and that's like it, I think. Maybe like Tyler Conklin, but I don't know. This is a really complete team, so it's hard to find a good pick for them. We could almost just go with the luxury pick of Christian McCaffrey, even though it is a really deep running back room. Could also think about Ryan Ramczyk here. Jonathan Allen could be a good pick. That might be what we do. Corner you don't need at all. Could go Chris Godwin. It's not the best receiving core past Garrett Wilson. Is Godwin worth the number 6 overall pick? I mean, he's better than the Titans taking Corey Davis at 5. Nah, they're deep at both positions. Let's just go with like a top 3 running back in the NFL. Probably the most valuable running back in the NFL because of his receiving ability. I think Robert Saleh would do amazing things with him. Obviously, you already have Breece Hall, but they're not really the same type of player. Both can be used for different things. And we know the 49ers and 49ers former coaches love their million different running backs that do different things. More so speedy guys, but still. Now the Chargers at number 7. Have I kept a pick the same this whole time? I think I gave the 49ers George Kittle, but that's obviously not the pick they made right there. They do lose quite a few players, actually. This could have been a good McCaffrey landing spot as just a direct replacement, a direct upgrade over Austin Eckler. Not that Austin Eckler's bad, but, you know, McCaffrey's probably a little better for sure, even though Eckler is a fantasy football stud. I think they're losing Michael Davis maybe, which is kind of a loss, but they have J.C. Jackson. They'll be fine, even though he was terrible last year. So Eckler, Everett, and Mike Williams are their 3 big losses. We might just keep Mike Williams. Maybe. Let's go with Deshaun Watson. That would be a great pick. We could go David Njoku or Evan Ingram or even Gerald Everett, but well, definitely, no, not top 10. What am I smoking? You know what we're going to do? We're going to make this a deadly offensive line and make it one of the best tackle duos in the NFL. We're going to add Ryan Ramczyk. Could also go Mike Williams. I'm 50-50 on that. It's just they're stuck with Trey Pipkins right now, and that's not the best. And you have guys, I guess, Jalen Guyton, Joshua Palmer. They're not the best, but, you know, if Keenan Allen does get hurt, that's a pretty disgusting receiving group. Not in a good way. But I don't know. Keep your young, good quarterback healthy. Get Ryan Ramczyk in there. Either way, that's a good pick. Now, the Panthers at number 8, they obviously took Christian McCaffrey here, who I've mentioned about a million times in this video already. They're going to lose Taylor Moton, which is not not great. And that's mostly it. Xavier Woods might have been in this class. I don't remember, but they have Jeremy Chin too, so it's like, eh. Was Hayden Hurst in this class? No, he was 18, I think. Well, either way, we might just let them keep Taylor Moton, because I don't know how... Cam Irving isn't like the worst backup ever, but still, we might take back-to-back right tackle picks. We could also go Hassan Reddick, bring him back here. Jonathan Allen, still available. Let's do one of those. You know, Hassan Reddick wasn't that good here. I mean, he was okay. Let's go with one of the best D linemen in the NFL in Jonathan Allen. And the duo of him and Derek Brown would be nice. I mean, Shai Tuttle's a fine player. Deshaun Williams is but like, they're closer to replacement level starters than like good starters. Well, Shai Tuttle's decent, but still. Gonna really upgrade that defensive line here. Now with the 9th overall pick, the Cincinnati Bengals, people get mad when I give them linemen like they forgot Joe Burrow got hurt, damn near got killed because of that offensive line a couple years ago, and it still isn't the best by any means. I don't think we're gonna do that here though, unless they're losing somebody. No, I don't think so. Tyler Boyd was 2016 apparently. They're losing Joe Mixon. Ooh, they really do not have a running back outside of Joe Mixon. I mean, Chase Brown is decent, but They're losing Trey Hendrickson. Ooh, that might have to be the pick then. Hassan Reddick's a little better, but he's not gonna be a 4-3 defensive end. He's way too small. Also losing Chidobe Awuzie. This team's getting kind of screwed from this class. We could go with a corner, because I mean, they have Myles Murphy. He's gonna be a rookie, but they also do have DJ Turner, to be fair. Damn. Well, let's give him a division rival. Let's give him Marlon Humphrey. We could also go Marshawn Lattimore or Tre'Davious White. Both are in a similar tier. Let's just go with the player I have rated slightly higher in Marlon Humphrey. Losing Trey Hendrickson sucks, but Humphrey's a little bit better of a player for sure. And I mean, they just signed Trey Hendrickson after a breakout year for not that much money. Who's to say they can't do something like that again? It does make a hole, but so would losing Chidobe Awuzie. Now the Bills at number 10. This is the last pick where I'm going to spend like a crazy amount of time because I don't want this video to be 3 hours long. They lose Deion Dawkins. Oh my god, that offensive line without Deion Dawkins. He might have to be the pick here, even though it is early. Holy shit, dude. You also lose Matt Milano, but he's a really good player, but off-ball linebacker is like the least valuable position. They also lose Trey White. Okay, this team gets maybe more screwed than the Bengals do. God, dude, this is such a weird one. Let's just keep one of their best players, even though he wasn't healthy last year. I think he was out all of last year. He's still a very good corner when healthy. So let's give them Tre'Davious White. Now the Saints at number 11. God, we're getting into the teams that are getting screwed. Oh my god. Oh yeah, this was their like greatest draft class ever. This was the Marcus Williams, Ryan Ramczyk, Alvin Kamara, Trey Hendrickson, and like even more players draft. So Marshawn Lattimore. Yeah, this was that draft class. So this is gonna be hard to make up for, to say the least. I was gonna take maybe Deshaun Watson here because, now hear me out, he was like a top 3 quarterback in the NFL before he did all that kind of stuff and then went to the Browns. He's a terrible scheme fit with the Browns. I don't know if he'll ever be good there, but if you're getting pre-bad stuff Deshaun Watson, that's a steal in this range. I'm not necessarily saying I'm gonna take him here, but we could, and that's my justification for it, because I think all the bad stuff he did happened in Houston. Maybe it would have worked out different. Maybe if he's just a straight bad person, he would have done it anyways, but I don't know. But we might just have a big run on corners here because I really do not feel good about like just Paulson Adebo and Alontae Taylor. I like both of them for sure, but as your top 2, that's like the worst top 2 in the NFL, and I don't think there's an argument for that. Let's just let him keep Marshawn Lattimore. Now the Browns at number 12. Let's give them the greatest player in the NFL in Kevin King. No, but I don't know what to do here. We could go edge, but like Zadarius Smith, even though he's old, is still good. Ogbonna Okoronkwo is a very underrated player for sure. It obviously sucks to lose Myles Garrett, but assuming they both stay healthy, that's a solid duo for sure. I also feel bad for having Hassan Reddick fall so much, but he's just not a scheme fit here. The crazy thing is, even after losing all those players, this is still a good team on paper. The Browns have a really good roster. It's just they can never put it together for a season. Let's actually give them, this might be weird, and it probably is. Well, nah, their receiving core is good. Let's give them Trey Hendrickson. I know I said I wasn't gonna give them a D lineman, but I lied apparently. There he is. Gave me a D+ for that. You know, based off the the pre-draft analysis, fair enough, but getting Trey Hendrickson at 12 is definitely solid value. And I was gonna say let's let the Cardinals keep Budda Baker, but he is unhappy being there. Let's see what we can do. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give them a player that started on this team. Where's he listed? Oh, is he listed at off-ball? Of course he is. Hassan Reddick. We're gonna let them keep Hassan Reddick. However, in this world, we're gonna assume they're gonna not play him as an off-ball linebacker and play him as a, like, pure edge. And we're gonna assume that he plays like current-day Hassan Reddick. That would be a good value pick, especially because this is the worst edge group I've maybe ever seen with Myjai Sanders and Cam Thomas. Not that they're terrible players, they are just very unproven. You could also take Budda Baker, but pass rush is more valuable than safety. You could also do something really weird and take Deshaun Watson and assume he's just gonna not do anything bad and be like a top 5 QB in the NFL. But I'm a Kyler Murray truther, so we're not gonna do that. Now the Eagles at 14, I think this is where they took Derek Barnett. I'm not sure, but we're not gonna repeat that. Unfortunately, Hassan Reddick just went. They don't lose much from what I see, but their safety group isn't the best. I mean, it's not bad at all. Reed Blankenship is a big breakout candidate for this year. Terrell Edmonds is solid. Sidney Brown I like a lot. Even Justin Evans is fine. And they just really don't have any other needs. They have Christian Ellis. Oh no, I'm thinking of Caden Ellis. Never mind. I was gonna say, I thought he got signed to the Falcons, but you know what we could do? Here's what I'm gonna do. This might be weird. We're gonna give them Jamal Adams instead, and we're gonna assume that is Jets Jamal Adams. Because if that is Jets Jamal Adams, that's the best safety in the NFL. If that's Seahawks Jamal Adams, as a Seahawks fan, I'm not a Pete Carroll truther. They use Jamal Adams just completely wrong. There is still a good player in there somewhere for sure. I'm just not a big Pete Carroll fan. I mean, he's fine. He's really outdated. He just, something I noticed that I don't see get brought up much is he will trade for players and then just not use them in the right way. Same thing happened with Jimmy Graham. Tried to use him as like a blocking tight end when he was a pure receiving tight end and probably the best receiving tight end in the NFL, but a terrible blocker. So he was like, yeah, let's fucking trade for him and make him a blocker. Like, I could ramble about this all day, but if that's Jets Jamal Adams, that is amazing value here. The Colts would be losing a couple players. I see Grover Stewart, Samson Ebukam, Kenny Moore. Losing those three isn't the best thing in the world, but it definitely could be worse. I would say this could be a Deshaun Watson landing spot if they didn't spend like the number 4 overall pick on Anthony Richardson. It's still, I don't know. There are still some really good players on the board. I mean, like every running back from this class pretty much, but it's running back, so like, Chris Godwin, Garrett Bolles, Taylor Moton, Grover Stewart, like I listed, Matt Milano, Chidobe Awuzie, Kenny Moore, Adoree Jackson, Marcus Williams, Eddie Jackson, Budda Baker. I really don't feel great about that corner group, especially with losing Kenny Moore. So let's take more of an outside guy in, if I can find him. Oh, there he is. I'm blind. Chidobe Awuzie, very underrated corner. I was feeling good about that group until, you know, Isaiah Rodgers was an idiot, which sucks because he was actually really good. If they didn't lose him, I probably would have just left that group alone, maybe. But losing him and then Kenny Moore would be terrible, so we're going to give him Chidobe Awuzie. We're not going to go with Kenny Moore. We're not going to go with a slot corner in the top 15. We're just not going to do that. And he's not quite as good now as he used to be. He kind of has up and down years a little bit though, but But the Ravens at number 16, what did they do here? I don't remember at all. Was it Tim Williams was second round, I think, or third. I think they lose Tyus Bowser and Marcus Williams and Marlon Humphrey. Ooh, this defense. Yikes. Well, unless there's a corner I just originally didn't notice, I don't think there's one right here that's worth taking. Let's let them keep Marcus Williams. Budda Baker is slightly better for sure, but I don't know about the duo of Kyle Hamilton and Budda Baker. I mean, neither of them are the best in coverage. Kyle Hamilton was better than I expected in coverage, but still. So Marcus Williams is going to be the pick. Now the Commanders at 17, they lose Curtis Samuel, but they have Diami Brown. You're fine there. You know what? This could actually be a decent Deshaun Watson landing spot. Going from one low-key poverty franchise to another. I guess he came from one to begin with in the Texans. But I mean, I like Sam Howell. I even like Jacoby Brissett, but neither of them are like what is assumed to be a top 5 QB, which if he was that, he definitely would have gone higher. It's just, I would feel bad knowing what Deshaun Watson currently is. So I'm like 50-50, like, well, he's not good now and had legal issues, but he was really good. So we're just going to take him to the Commanders. I think that works. They lose Jonathan Allen, which sucks, but you still have Daron Payne. They still have, I guess maybe Fedarian Mathis could be okay. I like Abdullah Anderson even. So there are definitely options for them. Now the Titans on the clock again. I think let's go with a lineman here. Let's go with Garrett Bolles, one of the, I wouldn't say better left tackles, but a very good left tackle when healthy. So Garrett Bolles is going to be the pick there. The Buccaneers at 19. Who did they take here? Was it OJ Howard? This might have been the OJ Howard pick. I thought he was going to be so good. I was very wrong. Okay, they do lose Chris Godwin, but I think that's really it. Was Jamel Dean? No, he was 2019 apparently. So yeah, that's the only player they lose, it looks like. Well, let's just replace him. Just like 2 rounds earlier or wherever they got him. Yeah, apparently 3rd round, I guess. So Chris Godwin is gonna stay a Buccaneer and keep that as a really good receiving group. The Broncos at number 20. Garrett Bolles just went, so that's tough. I think they lose Tim Patrick, which does suck, but they have so many other receivers. They're good. I like KJ Hamler. I like Marvin Mims. I like Marquez Callaway. Hell, I even like Lil Jordan Humphrey. I don't feel great about him as a starter, but still. They lose Garrett Bolles, like I said, and DJ Jones, which does kind of suck, actually. That's a really bad D-line if they lose him. We might have to go with a D-lineman. Who's the best D-lineman available on my board? Grover Stewart. Dietrich Wise is probably a better fit here, I guess. Well, nah, Grover Stewart would just be their straight up nose tackle. Let's go Grover Stewart. One or the other would be a good pick here, or Dalvin Tomlinson even. But yeah, no, let's go Grover Stewart. Obviously, really good player for the Colts, really good D lineman. They obviously have other needs. Tight end isn't the best for them. But honestly, if they can get, I don't know, maybe another D lineman, a little more depth, I would say another tight end, but that's a really deep tight end group. This is a really good roster on paper, just in general. I'm not even talking about the video. I mean, it was supposed to be a really good team last year, and I thought it would be. I didn't expect one of the better quarterbacks over the last 9 years to just suddenly be horrific when I thought he was held back by the Seahawks. But the Lions on the clock at number 21. Let's list off my best players available, because there are still some really good ones here. Okay, we still have Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Kareem Hunt, Mike Williams, David Njoku, Evan Ingram, Deion Dawkins, Ethan Posick, Taylor Moton, Carl Lawson, Dietrich Wise, Dalvin Tomlinson, Matt Milano, Kenny Moore, Dory Jackson, Desmond King, Rasul Douglas, Eddie Jackson, John Johnson, Malik Hooker, Marcus May, Jabril Peppers. There are some good players for sure. Some of them maybe should have gone earlier, like maybe Mike Williams, but shut up, C Cleaner. But I mean, that's just how these kind of things go. I mean, players fall in real life too. You gotta remember that. That's just kind of how it happens based on needs sometimes. I was gonna maybe think about Mike Williams here, but I forgot they have Jamison Williams, who's just suspended right now. That's not a very good D-line. Let's give them Dietrich Wise. He's a little small to play like pure 3-4 D-line. He's a Patriots D-lineman, so that's a little different. But I mean, yeah, the trio of Aleem McNeil, who's a decent player for sure, a good player, we'll say that. Isaiah Buggs and John Kaminsky, that's not great. So Dietrich Wise is definitely an upgrade. Now the Dolphins on the clock at number 22. God, their tight ends are disgusting. They also kind of need a running back. We could finally take a running back here. Another one at least. Okay, yeah, I feel bad having so many good running backs fall this far. Which one do we want to take though? I mean, for the last few years, Alvin Kamara's been kind of mid, honestly. I know people are gonna hate to hear that because people still see him as like a super high level running back. I kind of want to go Aaron Jones, a division rival. What would be the best fit for the Dolphins? I guess none of the top guys are like great fits. Are they really in a position to draft a running back though? I mean, their line, they still definitely have holes. Their tight ends are not good, and they get no bitches plus ratio. So let's go with the GOAT Jacob Hollister. No, he was actually pretty good for the Seahawks though. Let's go, I don't know if I want to do this, but also David Njoku's pretty good. They didn't use Mike Gesicki though, and him and Njoku are, I was gonna say they're a little similar, but not really. They're just both athletic, but they're pretty different. I don't know. We're gonna take David Njoku. It's a big need for them. We're just going off need here pretty much. That's just how I do these, because you're getting a good player either way. You might as well go what your biggest need is. Now the Giants at number 23. Who's the best? Oh, this is actually a perfect spot for, unless they're losing somebody crazy. They're losing Adoree Jackson, which, oh, that might be a big problem. That corner room is disgusting. But no, we're just gonna go Mike Williams. Shouldn't have fallen this far, I acknowledge that, but that's just kind of how the board played out. There could have been a million different scenarios where he gets taken like top 10. I'm just going off the dome for these, obviously. So Mike Williams is the pick here. Now the Raiders at 24. Do they have anybody from this class? Jermaine Illuminor, which he was good last year. That's kind of a problem. I guess OJ Howard, but who cares? Their interior defensive line isn't great. I think they lose Jordan Willis, but again, who cares? Their corner room isn't great either. They could maybe use another safety. This defense is terrible outside of like Max Crosby, and Duke Shelley was really good for the Vikings. He's not as good of a scheme fit here. And Trayvon Merrick and Nate Hobbs are good. But like that defense, this is really not great. And Divine Diablo's pretty good, but not like amazing. Let's go with probably the best player left on the board outside of one of the running backs or Matt Milano. Let's go with, Budda Baker's still available? I thought I took him. Well, that's definitely going to be the pick here. Oh yeah, I took Marcus Williams to the Ravens. I don't know if that would have changed anything, because I don't think any of those teams really needed safety at all, more than anything else. So I think that worked out fine, actually. Falling a little farther than he should, but still in the first round, so that's fine. Now the Texans on the clock at 25. We could give them Ethan Posick. They're more than good with their running backs. That's a great duo. Little redundant with Pearson Singletary. Normally you go for Thunder and Lightning. That's kind of just Thunder and Thunder, but fair enough. They're good at safety. I even like their depth safeties in Eric Murray and MJ Stewart. They're more than good there. So Eddie Jackson wouldn't be the greatest pick here. They do lose Desmond King, but Tevier Thomas is a really good player, really underrated when he actually plays. They do use like a crazy amount of secondary players though, so most of these guys will get on the field. This team is better than most people give it credit for. I think the Texans are really going to surprise people this year, because just looking at this now, I mean, King, good starter. Stingley could break out and be a really good starter. Petrie, good player. Ward, good player. Steven Nelson is good. Corey Littleton could be good. Was very good for the Rams. Denzel Perriman's good. Jonathan Grenard, when healthy, is good. Malik Collins is solid. Sheldon Rankins is good. Will Anderson's good. They even have Jerry Hughes. Chase Winovich could be good. I like Jacob Martin. This team is not bad, especially on defense. Their line is a little thin for sure. It could be better than people expect though. Just their receiving core concerns me because they don't really have a number one, but dude, this is a pretty solid team. I'm actually having a hard time figuring out who to take, and that's not normally a problem with the Texans. I actually have no idea who to give them. Let's just go with the straight up highest overall player on my board that isn't a running back. We'll just give them, is there a good outside corner actually? They could maybe use that, but no, they have Shaquille Griffin too. Damn, this team's not bad. Oh, but they do lose Shaquille Griffin. Okay, let's give them Adoree Jackson. I mean, a good corner. That's like, I wouldn't say their most thin position. They could also go Ethan Posick. Could go Matt Milano if you wanted to. Could go Dalvin Tomlinson. There are definitely options now that I think about it, but Adoree Jackson's a good player. That wouldn't be a bad pick at all. Now the Seahawks at 26, my favorite team, unfortunately. God, this D-line sucks. There were so many clear options to fix it, and they just didn't do it. Jamal Adams, we do lose, but like, there's Julian Love here. We had Ryan Neal, but they cut him for whatever reason, which I get if he wanted like to start, but you can't really expect both of these guys to stay healthy for a full season, so he probably would have played a good amount of games anyways, but whatever. I'm still mad about that. Ryan Neal is low-key one of my favorites, and they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna take back our tender that was like $2 million a year for one of the most underrated safeties in the NFL. Let's go with a D lineman. Let's go with Dalvin Tomlinson. Unless I already took him and just don't remember. No, he's down here. That's lower than I guess he was like second or third round. I can't remember. But Dalvin Tomlinson is now a Seahawk. I wanted them to sign him this offseason, and then the Browns swooped in and signed him. They just never do what I want them to do, and sometimes it works, but rarely. A lot of the time when I say, hey, this is gonna suck, it does end up sucking. So I don't know, dude. I know being a Seahawks Seahawks fan isn't like that bad, but there are always clear options to be better, and they just don't make those moves, and it hurts. But the Chiefs at number 27, oh, they lose Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, this team would be awful without Pat. Well, I mean, they still have good players, but without Patrick Mahomes here, this would not be a good team. We could give them, weirdly enough, Mitch Trubisky and hope they can develop him, which might sound crazy, but was Mahomes really that much better of a prospect than Mitch Trubisky? That might be an absurd thing to hear, but I'm talking like straight out of college. Mahomes obviously became the best quarterback in the NFL, sitting behind Alex Smith, coming into a great situation with a great coach. Maybe Trubisky could have done not necessarily the same thing because he didn't have the same upside, but still could have been better than he ended up being, which even then, I feel like he's overhated. He's really not that bad. He's like a really low-level starter, but like a really good-level backup. Am I really justifying myself, fucking manipulating myself into taking fucking Mitch Trubisky in the first round? Maybe. I just might be. Am I gonna do that? This is so stupid, but we might be taking Mitch Trubisky in the year of our Lord 2023 to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't feel good about that, but I did it. He could have been good here, like genuinely. He could have straight up gotten the Patrick Mahomes treatment and become a good player. So we're gonna bank on that fact and hope he becomes good. We'll see. But even then, end of the first for like not even okay QB, like a low level starter at QB isn't the worst. I mean, that's not great, but still. I mean, I would rather do that than start Blaine Gabbert or fucking Shane Buechele, so I don't think you can blame me. Could also go a running back, which is fair, but the last time they took a first-round running back, they got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so that doesn't really work out for them. Well, I mean, that was the one time, but still. The Cowboys at number 28. This draft has really gone downhill. I think the only player they're losing... Oh, no, they lose Malik Hooker, which kind of sucks, but they still have Jaron Kearse and Donovan Wilson, which I don't know about. Did Donovan Wilson play free safety last year? I don't think so. I don't know how I feel about that, but maybe he did. He's just not very athletic. But I do want a defensive player. This offense on paper is very good. This defense is still good, but there are some maybe holes like D-line. Well, not really. Off-ball linebacker. This is gonna be where... Oh, Reuben Foster. I could take him later because he was really good before he like got suspended and everything. He should be in here somewhere. I think he was even really good in the XFL or USFL, whatever he's in. So maybe he gets signed to a team. I always like second chances. I guess he's not a good person. Well, I don't know. Some people make mistakes, but I don't know. Either way, it's cool to see players get second chances. Maybe he will. Where the hell is Mr. Matthew Milano? I don't know if that's his first name, but it probably is. I don't know what else it would be. Matt Milano. We're going to make the white boy linebacker room between Leighton Vander Esch and him. I mean, it's either that or Damone Clark, apparently. Is Damone Clark even healthy? I thought he was hurt right now. Jabril Cox is okay. They also have DeMarvion Overshown, but that's not, like, great. Is linebacker the most important thing ever? Not at all, but Matt Milano's, like, one of the best. At least he was last year. So you take that towards the end of the first, for sure. The Packers at number 29. I'm really doing some weird shit in this rebuild, or redraft. I do a lot of stuff. They do lose Aaron Jones, but they still have AJ Dillon. They do lose Rasul Douglas, too. But again, they have Eric Stokes, which I didn't love that pick at the time. I thought Campbell would have been better, Tyson Campbell, but... Or are those the two players? Or am I getting this mixed up with, like, way back Desmond King, fucking whoever the other corner around that range was? No, I think that's what it was. Eric Stokes and Tyson Campbell. Definitely got proven right so far, but Eric Stokes could still be good. We'll see. I'm rambling so bad in this video. Let's just take a running back because, I mean, it's either that or we take Malik Hooker. Is that his name? Why can I not remember his name? There are a lot of hookers that are safeties. That's not good phrasing. Nothing like a lot of hookers, am I right? No, let's give him Eddie Jackson. I forgot he was still available. That's definitely an upgrade. Steal him from a division rival. Darnell Savage isn't great at all. Rudy Ford is good, but outside of that, definitely not the best. So low-key forgot he was available again. But again, the Cowboys have solid safeties. The Chiefs have solid safeties. The Seahawks have good safeties. So this is probably where he would have gone if I remembered. Anyways. Now the Steelers at number 30. Getting towards the end here. This is going to be a lengthy video. They lose TJ Watt. I mean, they have Marcus Golden. They have Nick Herbig. Even Quincy Roche I like. And Alex Highsmith can just be your number one, I guess. They do lose DeMonte Casey. They don't really have much besides him at safety. Oh god, that kind of sucks for them. They lose Larry Ogunjobi, which is meh. He's not the best. He's been one of the more overrated I guess he doesn't get talked about much, but a little overrated, I guess. Why? I don't know. They had Forrest Lamp ranked number 21. I remember people liking him, but 21? Is he even on a team right now? There were some busts in this class. Good lord. I mean, I know every class has busts, but it seems like there were a good amount in this class. I guess Lamp wasn't a bust because it's not like he was a first-round pick, but still. Okay, let's go with to the Steelers. Should I just have him take JuJu back? But round 1 is kind of crazy for JuJu. Although, he was very good for the Steelers for like a year. But their receiving, I was going to say their receiving core is good, but like, I don't know what Allen Robinson is anymore. He could suck, but he could also regain his old form and be a monster receiver. I don't know. Okay, this defense definitely suffers from this redraft. Let's go with, I guess, Carl Lawson. He wouldn't be a bad fit in a 3-4 at all. It's either that or we go with a safety. Could also go Malik Hooker, Marcus May, John Johnson, have him keep DeMonte Casey, go Jabril Peppers, but Carl Lawson's a good pick too. The Falcons at number 31, we're getting down to the last few picks here. This was after the unfortunate 28-3 Super Bowl. QB's definitely a need for them, but like, we're not gonna find one here unless we want to go with the GOAT, Taysom Hill or something. I mean, there's some crazy like backup QBs here, I guess. PJ Walker, Taysom Hill, Trevor Knight, I think was in the XFL and did pretty well or something. I can't remember. CJ Beathard's been decent when he's forced to play. Mr. Swag Kelly, Chad Kelly, let's go. Mr. Vacuumed someone's house naked, or what did he do? He did something naked with a vacuum. Maybe he put it on his fucking dick. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe those were two different stories. I don't know. Cooper Rush is something. Josh Dobbs. I loved Brad Kaya, the GOAT Nathan Peterman, the GOAT Davis Webb, Deshaun Kaiser. This is a terrible quarterback class. I mean, great. Well, I mean, you have the best quarterback in the NFL in this class, in Nathan Peterman. You also have someone named Patrick Mahomes. I've made that stupid joke like 10 times. It's not funny. I'm sorry. They still kind of need a receiver. What if we just give them JuJu? What if we just give them all slow receivers? Say fuck Scotty Miller. Just have them rolling out here with Drake London, Mac Hollins, and JuJu Smith-Schuster. Say fuck players getting open. Yeah, we'll do it. And then the Saints on the clock for the last pick of this redraft. Let's just let them keep one of their good players. There are so many different directions they could go here. They could go safety. They could go defensive end. They could go interior D-line. They could go QB. No, not QB anymore. They could go running back. They could go tight end. They could go tackle. They could add another receiver if they really wanted to. But we're just going to let them keep one of their picks in Alvin Kamara. It is stuck loading. Okay, cool. But this is the draft we did. Is it questionable? Absolutely. But all of my videos are questionable, so y'all shouldn't be surprised at this point. But I really hope y'all enjoyed today's video. This was definitely a fun one to do. This is such a terrible thing to look at. It's also really funny, so I'm happy with it. But I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. So with that, did I just say I'll see y'all again in the next video, and now I'm about to say it again? I don't remember what I said. I'm really tired. It's been a long day. Goodbye.